Hey you guys, so I wanted to share a quick devotional or Bible lesson. A lesson, I guess, that would speak to the fact that sometimes God will set up our deliverance or set up our escape in a way that our enemy does not expect it. And I'm coming from Judges chapter 3, specifically verses 15 through 30. And I'm not going over all of them because I'm going to just kind of focus on a few key verses. But before that, I just want to shout out the Instagram account God is Dope for this dope shirt. It says Just God. Super cool. I've ordered a sweatshirt from them, another t-shirt, which is their I guess iconic t-shirt, the God is Dope. So yeah, that is just something I wanted to shout out. This video is not sponsored, but hey, you know, y'all go check them out. They have some awesome materials up there. So yeah, back to the devotional. So let me just set the story up for you. So in Judges, of course, you know, this is around the time the children of Israel are still acting up. God is still getting angry with them. God is still, you know, forcing them to learn these lessons because they just won't get it. So during this time also, God started giving judges or sending judges to the children of Israel in hopes that they will be delivered from the hand of the enemy, delivered from these kings that were trying to overrule them. And then, you know, they just kept acting up, but whatever. We're not going to talk about that in this video. I just want to talk about one of the judges or one of the people that God sent to them in chapter 3, okay? His name was Ehud. So in verse 15 it says, "But when the sons of Israel cried to the Lord raised up a deliverer for them, Ehud, son of Gera, the Benjamite, a left-handed man." In my mind, I'm wondering, why are you telling me he's left-handed? What is the significance of him being left-handed? So you know what I did? As a nerd, I went to the footnote. And for verse 15, again, we're in chapter 3 of Judges. In verse 15, it says, left-handed man. Left-handedness was noteworthy among the Benjamites, which is ironic since Benjamite or Benjamin means son of my right hand. So that's pretty cool. Being left-handed, Ehud, the one who was sent to deliver them at the time, could conceal his dagger on the side where it was not expected. So this is where I'm coming from in this devotional to speak about the fact that sometimes God is so clever. He's so amazing. We all know that. Just go ahead and have a conversation and a praise moment in the comments for how great God is. He's so great. So look. So the cowboy movies or whatever that I've seen, it's kind of like when you try to draw your sword, I always see them go like this or whatever, like that. Okay, I look like a little dance, but whatever. Okay, so the Benjamins or the Benjamites, what was it? Okay, yeah, the Benjamites. They were in this footnote. It's saying they were typically left-handed. So of course they drew, so they're left-handed. That means they would draw their sword from the right side, okay? But in this story is going to tell you Ehud pretty much delivered the children of Israel from the king of Moab, which was, his name was Eglon, king of Moab. So when okay, so I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. So when Ehud went to give his yearly tribute, so they say the yearly tribute was meant to bring peace for their group of people. So they're like, here's my offering, here's my tribute. Please don't kill us this year. We're cool, we have no beef. That's pretty much what the tribute was. And that's what verses 15 through 30 are speaking about, okay? So what happens is Ehud set him up where he went back into the king's living quarters and said, hey, I have a message for you from God. The king stands up, and Ehud, because the king is not expecting it, right? But because Ehud was left-handed, he reached. King isn't expecting it because, of course, he's thinking he's going to draw from the left side. But because Ehud was left-handed, God set this up where the enemy did not expect this is how he was going to go out, okay? So that's one key thing about what I want to mention. So if you read further into this story, when he stabbed him, or let me back up, it explains that this king was fat. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? Why are you giving me a physical description of this man? But I believe this is setting it up for you to understand the significance or the magnitude of how deep Ehud stuck, or how deep Ehud stabbed Eglon, right? So they're saying this man is fat. So in verse 22, it says, when he stood up, so I guess the king is waiting for this message. He stabs him. And it says in verse 22, the handle also went in after the blade, and the fat closed over the blade, for he did not draw the sword out of the belly, and the refuse came out. And I looked it up, refuse, and in other verses it gives other words, but it's pretty much he went to the bathroom on himself, okay? And, here's another shout out, Locos.com. I have a Locos account and I have it on my phone. So when I looked it up, it was saying that when he stuck him in the belly, it stuck him so hard that all of his bowels were released. The enemy in his death was shamed. Because of course, in any culture, I would think that going to the bathroom on yourself, you are put to shame. It's shameful. So that's another lesson in this. Not only does God send a deliverer, God sends ways where our enemy is not only embarrassed or made a fool out of because they did us wrong, it's also showing, again, with the whole left hand, right hand thing, that the enemy is not knowing when God is coming or how God is going to send the deliverance, right? Okay. So the other thing, in the beginning part of this section, so starting in verse 15, where it was talking about, verse 16 is talking about Ehud's sword. It said it's a cubit in length. Again, in Logos, when I was studying, it said a cubit was from the elbow to the end of the hand of a man. Now, I'm a female. You already see how long that section is for me. So imagine a man, how long that area was, right? In the text, this is showing how the significance of showing or explaining that the king was fat, because it said the sword went all the way through, right? So back to, let's see. Okay. Verse 21, Ehud stretched out his left hand, took the sword from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. 22, the handle also went in after the blade, meaning the whole entire knife stuck into this man. The whole thing. So just imagine that long of a sword being stuck all the way into this man's belly. Just, as a visual, I just love looking at the text and kind of breaking it down. And a lot of times the word is not going to come out and say it. You have to interpret and study and kind of give it a visual for yourself. But I'm not going to keep you guys long. I just wanted to share that. And I just thought that, and of course, later in the story, he goes on after he stabs him. He leaves the knife there. And in Logos, as I was studying, it said that he didn't take the knife with him. Present day, I would think, man, you just left the evidence. They're going to get your fingerprints. In biblical times, okay, they didn't have forensics and CSI and all that good stuff. But it said in the study notes that perhaps if he would have took the knife, it would have led a blood trail and he would have got caught. So he left the knife. He went past all of the king's attendants thinking, hey, there's nothing going on. The attendants go to the door thinking, oh, he's using the restroom. But then after a while, it's kind of like, he's been in there a while. Goes in, the man is dead, and then of course the children of Israel are able to come back and overtake them, which is the whole plan. Ehud came to deliver them. So the lesson in this, I just want to say, the whole thing that I wanted to share to get, I guess, viewers, anyone listening to understand, have hope in the fact that you won't be overtaken for long. Have hope that when you are living right and you are following God's commands, he always sends a way out. And then the cool part of this lesson is when he sends a way out, it's just awesome to see that not only will we know how he's doing it, but the enemy won't either. The enemy does not know what God is doing. The enemy may know God's power, but they will not know how they're going to be taken out. So just have hope and encouragement in that you won't be held down for long. And when that deliverance comes, just be prepared to be amazed.